A suspect who stole a vehicle with an infant inside at an area convenience store is still on the run this evening.
Amarillo police say it happened at the Toot & Totem on Amarillo Boulevard. An hour later, officers were able to locate the vehicle at a nearby motel with the child uninjured. The suspect was caught on security camera while at the convenience store. He is described as a 25 to 35-year-old white male, about 6 feet tall with a shaved head. Anyone with information is asked to call Amarillo Crime Stoppers at 374-4400. And the investigation continues this afternoon into a fire that destroyed a Potter County home. It was just after 1 this afternoon when fire crews responded to a trailer home fire on Lightfoot Street in the Tierra Grande area. They arrived and found the home engulfed in flames. Crews from the Amarillo Fire Department were called in to help battle the fire. We're told no injuries were reported. And the burn ban in Potter County is being extended. Today, commissioners voted to keep the ban in effect at least another 90 days. Commissioners say they will meet again next month to decide whether the ban should be extended or lifted depending on fall weather conditions. And definitely not fall weather conditions out there for us today.
That's true. Doppler Dave Oliver joins us now with our first look at the supercast.
American Eagle flights at our local airport are not being affected, even though hundreds have been canceled nationwide. Officials at Rick Husband International Airport tell us they're not expecting any cancellations this week and did not have any last week. They tell us American Airlines flights in other cities have been canceled, but it could eventually have a ripple effect here. Last week, the company said they would be cutting their schedule up to 2% through the end of October. For New Mexico residents, voting in the general election will start in about 2 weeks. Absentee voting begins October 9th. Then you can head to your local county clerk's office to cast a ballot in person. Voter registration ends then, making it possible for you to register and vote on the same day. Early voting begins October 20th and runs through November 3rd. Election day is November 6th. Nearly 70% of the state's registered voters cast their ballot 4 years ago, which is more than 800,000 people. Well, your annual income may influence your chances of voting. In the 2008 presidential election, 80% of voter turnout in the U.S. was adults from families earning at least $100,000 a year. The Census Bureau reports adults from families earning $20,000 or less a year had a 52% turnout. Political experts say the gap may be dependent on how much voters feel they have at stake and how much their vote will actually influence change. More Texas students are taking the SAT, but fewer are performing well on it. This comes from a report by the Texas Education Agency that monitored students over the past 5 years. It found African American and Hispanic participation rates increased the most, but students' scores decreased from 2011 by nearly 5 points across the board in reading, math, and writing. According to the SAT College Board, it is common for scores to decline as more students take the test.
A dog treat sold at an area retailer is being recalled over salmonella concerns.
Plus, drug and alcohol addicts may soon have another treatment option to choose from. We'll explain when Live at 5 continues on News Channel 10. Doctors and scientists are trying to give drug and alcohol addicts another option when it comes to treatment. 12-step programs have been the standard for addiction treatment for decades, but now medication may be an option. With some federal support, these experts are adding to drugs already in use, like methadone for heroin addiction. They claim this would allow addiction to be treated like any other disease, but many treatment centers in the U.S. aren't interested, claiming the medical approach fails to address personal issues such as lifestyle and spirituality. As more Texas inmates contract hepatitis C, the cost of treating the disease goes up. Prison health officials estimate that out of the over 150,000 inmates across the state, as many as 50,000 could be infected. The cost to treat them is expected to soar nearly 380% by next year. Tattooing behind bars is believed to be a factor in why the disease is spreading.
Doppler Dave is tracking a few showers in the area.
A final look at your forecast is coming up next.